What if Sanctuary wasn't just a place, but a way of living? Welcome to the Sanctuary Network, your weekly home for conversations that awaken the heart, heal the body, and inspire the spirit. I'm your host, Mary Ellen Popyk, the creator of Spirit Fest and the Natural Wellness Expos. For 2 decades, I've been creating spaces, now creating a bold new broadcast for mind, body, and spirit, where seekers, healers, and teachers come together to share wisdom, laughter, and transformation. We've seen what happens when communities gather. People become enlivened. Now, through the Sanctuary Network, that same spirit is reaching you, wherever you are in the world. Each week, we'll sit down with thought leaders, authors, and everyday visionaries. We'll also shine a light on the grassroots voices of the Sanctuary Marketplace, the healers, vendors, and practitioners who make this movement thrive. This isn't just another show, it's your sanctuary, a space to pause, reflect, and reconnect with what matters most. So, take a deep breath, open your heart, and join me. Together, let's step into the sanctuary. Welcome, everyone. We are live here at the Sanctuary for Mind, Body, and Spirit tonight, and we are with one of our favorite people, Reverend Dr. Judi Weaver. How are you tonight, Judi?
I am fabulous. Excited to be invited back. Thank you so very much. Much has been transpiring, has it not?
There is never a dull week. Just when we think things are normal, this year has been anything but. I think that's the best way that I can explain it. But for those of you who are not familiar with Judi, she will be doing readings live on the air, and you can call in or you can message on the Transformation Network's message board or through our Facebook account too. But let me give you a proper introduction. Reverend Dr. Judi Weaver is a highly regarded spiritual trance channel medium and doctor of metaphysics. She's a healer and shamanic practitioner who has been working since the early 1990s. As the founder of Heart for Souls, Inc., she coordinates spiritual growth through various modalities and organizes group travel to sacred lands for personal development. Through her trance channeling, she connects with divine entities, including God Source and universal light beings, bringing forth ancient teachings, guidance, healing, and profound individualized energies. And you have the most infectious laugh of anyone that I know. And that's one of my favorite things about you. So I know that we're going to have lots of laughs too. So welcome and thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you for
Thank
being here.
you. Thank you for such a wonderful, warm introduction. I love it. I love it. I love it.
The last time you were here, we were talking, it was right at the beginning of the Fire Horse. And oh my goodness.
And here we are now coming into May 1st. We've got a full moon coming right up, so we're right in that cusp of change. And then we also, it's Beltane, because that's what May 1st comes into play, it's so really fabulous, wonderful energies coming in. And that fire horse, it is running, people. It is running.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. And I hear so many stories. We can manifest things faster than ever before. So we need to be so focused on what we want to manifest because we don't want to focus more of what we don't want, which sometimes we can do inadvertently if we talk about what we don't like or the things that just astonish us. But just focusing on more about what we want to see. But lots of good things are happening for so many people, and it's exciting.
It is incredible. I never could have imagined all of what is transpiring at this point. And I knew that it was going to be a magnificent year. And I know that, last year was rough. The last couple of years have been really rough for people. They've really been digging up all of that stuff in us for us to be able to let go of it, to see it, to finally unpack it. To throw it away and or to give it away with love.
Right.
It's just, it's no longer ours anymore. But the thing that's so beautiful about where we are is with all of this chaos is beautiful energy of creation. And it gives us the flexibility and the fluidity. But the thing that's so amazing is that I'm just absolutely watching myself change. And I'm not alone because whoever I'm working with, they sit down with me and they get up another person.
Yes.
And it's just happening just like that with
Hmm.
everybody. If you're willing to go ahead and to go into that space of
Yes.
vulnerability and
Hmm.
trust to
Hmm.
allow for that exchange, but it is just happening. We don't
Yeah.
have to try.
Hmm.
It's happening. The key is to really be paying attention to the details and
Yes.
to recognize that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, and the theme of our show tonight is talking about spiritual practices and about how they're different now than they ever were before. But what I'm noticing, well, I think this was maybe a couple of years ago more than ever, and I feel like maybe even the pandemic kind of was a catalyst for this, was just offloading what we don't need.
Yeah.
We just realized about how important it was. Well, really to just take a list of what was important to us, I think. And then, but there's a saying, nobody likes change but a wet baby. And a lot of people have been nervous about letting go of old ideals or things that used to excite us or that we used to focus on and that now no longer are needed because we've got other interests or other things that we could pursue. And then that is kind of a weird feeling when you start to kind of unpack or unload some of that stuff. It does make you feel a little lost, isn't
And
the word, but
it's uncomfortable because what we did before doesn't work anymore. That I think is
mm-hmm,
the part that's so challenging for people. And literally, I just got off the phone with two different people today,
mm-hmm,
and that was the thing that they're saying. They're like, "What happened? Why am I so out of sorts?" And it's not. It's absolutely everybody.
yes,
All of these energies that are coming in are impacting and affecting us. And I mean, yeah, you went back to the pandemic and look at all the people who woke up from the
mm-hmm,
pandemic.
mm-hmm,
And in the last, 6 years, it's monumental because of the different energies. But what it really comes down to is that we are moving into this heightened resonance of awareness, of
mm-hmm,
accessibility, of
mm-hmm,
attraction, and of creation.
mm-hmm,
And the more that we are beginning to just take a moment and say, huh, well, where did that thought come from? Right? Because
mm-hmm,
spirit
mm-hmm,
talks to us in so many different ways. But then you're not just thinking it's your imagination. You're taking that heartbeat moment to say, but wait a minute, I wasn't even thinking about that. Where did it come
mm-hmm,
from?
mm-hmm,
It doesn't
uh-huh,
make any sense at all. And then you're like, wait a minute, that's like a really good idea.
yeah,
Wow, I think
yeah,
I'll go ahead and I'll try that. And so it's really allowing people, and everybody is doing it now. It's not about, do you have intuition? It's about people saying, how much are you using your intuition? Everybody
mm-hmm,
is recognizing, and
mm-hmm,
they're feeling like they have permission to
mm-hmm,
exercise it and to feel into it and
mm-hmm,
to just be in the awareness of it. It's
mm-hmm,
not necessarily practicing, but just being aware of what
mm-hmm,
else that is.
yeah.
And yeah, yeah.
I think we're getting more and more confirmation that we can rely on our intuition and that our intuition is really amped up. Do you remember in Port St. Lucie, there was a fella that came, that he had come from California for something completely unrelated. And he was having a hard time and he wanted something grounding. He wanted something that he could just, that was going to help him be in a better place. And he happened to look and found our event and he came and he was there both days. And I just, stories like that, I just think are so cool about how he just followed his intuition. He didn't know exactly what it was that he was going to find. He just knew that there was something out there for him. But in all of our lives, there's just things that are coming up that um, we might typically have zigged, but we this day decided to zag, and wow, did it turn out really great. So it's,
And
yeah.
you become the conduit. That's the other
Mhm.
thing. You're
Mhm.
talking with somebody, you're having, just a regular conversation, or somebody pops into your field, or they're opening the door and they look at you and then they start to cry, and then they melt
Mhm.
down all over around you, right?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
and it's because your energy has changed and it's a safe space. You're
Yes.
emitting that moment of love, and you're being put into a situation where then you have an opportunity to share something, and or to just be that person that listens. It's
Mhm.
not that you necessarily
Mhm.
have to do anything,
Mhm.
but you have to hold the space for the person to be in that moment of wherever they are. But
Mhm.
I say oftentimes, I just open my mouth and God falls out.
Right.
All of this brilliant stuff is coming from wherever, I don't know.
Mhm. Mhm.
And it's like, "Oh, that was really good. That was profound. Wow. Thanks, guys. You got me on that." And that's just comes from that knowingness,
Mhm.
right? And
Mhm.
people, it's so funny because people don't recognize what knowingness is. And that's probably one of the hardest gifts to recognize, because you automatically have it
Mhm.
and you've always had it. And then you go around, and I think I was probably about 25 before I figured out that I had this knowingness that other people didn't. And I was like, well, why don't they have common sense?
Mhm. Mhm.
Don't they know that this is going to happen? I know that this is going to happen, you
Mhm.
know? And it's so funny, but I'll meet people and they're 60, 70 years old. And it's like, I'm like, well, your greatest sensitivity is your knowingness, and you do da, 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 da. And I'm like, yep, 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 yep. And they're like, oh, that's what that is?
Mhm.
They didn't recognize it because they didn't know it as
Mhm.
something different from other people.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's just such an exceptionality.
Right.
And that knowingness is coming in clear.
Yeah.
It is a
Yeah.
direct line. There's not
Yeah.
hiccups and skips in the beat. You are
Mhm.
getting clear, solid information. Exactly what you said with that gentleman. He knew he had to come to Florida. He was on his way to Miami, but he
Mhm.
ended up making a pit stop at our
Mhm.
event in Port St. Lucie. And the
Mhm.
moment that he saw me, he sat down. And when
Yeah.
he sat down, his guides, masters, angels, all were able to give him a whole different perspective of
Mhm.
the situation that he was highly concerned with, where
Mhm.
then he was able to peel off the responsibility and
Mhm.
to just recognize, oh, okay, maybe I don't have to do anything.
Mhm.
Maybe I'm already okay where I'm at.
Mhm.
But just getting that complete information from his
Mhm.
son, who gave him
Mhm.
solid, doot, doot,
Mhm.
doot, 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 and proof of
Mhm.
life and proof of information and
Right.
confirmation and affirmation, changed everything. The
Right.
the very confused, lost man that walked in, who was on the brink of who knows what kind of disastrous situation it could have turned into this great big love ball. And he just was elated about the opportunity to meet the different speakers, to
Uh-huh.
spend
He
time
was
with.
so happy on Sunday. That just
Oh
warmed
my
my
God.
heart.
Yeah,
Um,
he was glowing, I don't know, rose petals or whatever. I don't know. He was just leaving a little flower power wherever he went. It's so fun to see that. It's just so fun to see those changes that come into play.
mhm.
And the other thing that's a really big change that's happening with the spiritual development is the ability of seeing. I really want to take a minute to go there, because as we are moving through these energy shifts, we definitely are seeing physical changes that are happening around in the environment as well.
Mhm.
Sometimes we see the warbles. Sometimes, we just have an opportunity, and it's not even including all of that third eye sight. That
Mhm.
third eye sight is wild, because sometimes it comes in as like a film strip, and it
Right.
goes like tick, 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 and it's black and white, and it's so instantaneous. You're like,
Mhm.
what was that?
Mhm.
Sometimes you get the orbing, pulsing lights, and you'll get
Mhm.
rainbow colors.
Mhm.
sometimes when you're going to sleep, you'll see the different faces that come
Mm-hmm.
up. And they
Mm-hmm.
may be your loved ones, they may be
Mm-hmm.
your ancestors, they may be beings that you've never seen before, but there's a familiarity with them. And they come in as teachers, as guides, as mentors. And that visualization, sometimes we're really seeing out of the corner of our eyes. So, one of the
Mm-hmm.
things I always like to tell people is if you want to expand your vision and you really want to be more clairvoyant, then there's a couple of different great tools that we can use. I want to give people some practice tips. All right, Miss Mary Ellen, we good
Mm-hmm.
with
Mm-hmm.
that? Okay,
Would
fabulous.
love that. Yes.
So, one of the first things I tell people is if you really want to be able to see if there's ghosts in the room, you want to see the shifting
Mm-hmm.
energies that are in the room, then it's really important to just go ahead and to focus your eyes on one particular thing. I don't care
Mm-hmm.
what you focus on, something in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
And you just keep your eyes gentle and focused in that particular area. So I want everybody to do that at this moment. I want you to pick something
Mm-hmm.
that's in front of you, and I just want you to go ahead and focus. And
Mm-hmm.
now, as you are focusing your eyes to the forward, I want you to be aware and mindful of your peripheral vision.
Mm-hmm.
And then in that moment, go ahead and just take in a deep breath and know that your guides and your masters and your angels are around you. And you might call them in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm calling in my angels. I'm calling in my guides. I'm calling in the masters. Send that love energy. Let me bring it in to be able to see around me.
Mm-hmm.
And just keep that focus in that forward momentum. And then you're going to be able to, most often, recognize little shifts that are happening to the side of you. And
Mm-hmm.
so often we get that and we immediately, what? We look, oh, who's there? What was that? We turn our head. And the moment that we turn our head, we lose the
Mm-hmm.
connection of being
Mm-hmm.
able to recognize and to see that.
Mm-hmm.
Another really cool tool that you can use for sight is if you go to the beach or you go outside and the sun is shining. And I'm not
Mm-hmm.
saying that you blind yourself with the sun, but I am saying you close your eyes and you go ahead and let the sun penetrate onto your eyelids. And you hold it there for about 20 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And then I want you to open your eyes, but when you open your eyes, you're looking out at the sky. You don't have
Mm-hmm.
to be looking at the sun, and just open them very slowly. And then what you usually can see is the light grid. And that means that you'll see those sparkles of light that are all around. And sometimes you'll see the connecting lines as well. So that's
Mm-hmm.
another really cool way to be able to start practicing your eyesight.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing that you can do, which is, and this is kind of a two-parter because you can go ahead and um, you can burn a flame. Okay. You can burn the candle
Mm-hmm.
and then
That's how I learned to see auras. Yeah.
there you
Mm-hmm.
go. Perfect. Share your
Mm-hmm.
story.
Well, you can maybe explain it better than me. I would stand in front of a mirror in the bathroom was where I was easiest for me, and with a candle behind me. I had to find just the right height where it would just sort of illuminate me. And then when I looked in the mirror, and then same thing, you have to soften your gaze.
Hmm.
That was the best way. And it took. I was young, but I was able to do it. And then you start to see it. You start to see it around, like with the natural colored lights. What do you call it? Like not the LEDs, but and then it becomes easier, and then eventually you'll be able to see them on your own. Not always, but
And you
sometimes.
can see them outside. You can see them on trees. You can see them on,
Hmm.
rocks. It's not that
Hmm.
it's just people that you can see the auric energy fields on.
Hmm.
You can see all kinds of things. But if you really concentrate and allow yourself to, and then even close your eyes and try looking through your third eye at that
Hmm.
candle flame, and then
Hmm.
you open your eyes at a later point, you're receiving information from both
Hmm.
areas.
Hmm.
So it helps to really get back and to open up the pineal gland and the connectivity and all of that information that
Hmm.
is able for you to be able to have access to.
When I was a kid, I could also see things out of my peripheral vision but it was ghosts, it was spirits.
Yeah.
And I it was really scared. but it was, that typical, mommy, there's a monster in the closet type thing. And I think she just thought that I was being, dramatic. And then at some point, she started acknowledging it as if she could see them too. And then that kind of made me feel better. And then one day she kind of laughed in a way that I could tell she thought it was a joke. And then I kind of shut it down, just to save for later time. But that never really goes away, I don't think. So a lot of people may have that ability that they may have had when they were kids, or they may just start now, it just, because they're coming more aware of it.
Absolutely. And that's the thing. So many as children. I mean, in myself as a young child, I had the naughty pine in the bedroom and I was petrified of it because all the eyes were watching me. But they really were. And I
Hmm.
had one of those stupid, roof lines that went down, and there was the closet that they went into the attic, and everything would come in and out of that closet.
Hmm.
And
Yep.
I was so petrified. And I don't even know what was coming in and out, but it
Hmm.
just scared me to death.
Hmm.
And but again, it was one of those things that it wasn't talked about. And oh, never mind, you're just blah 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 blah. And
Right.
so then you're sleeping with your, blankets over your head and your eyes closed. But
I am a grown adult, and I still, if I have to go into my bedroom and the lights off, I'll still take a running leap from the floor to the bed so that I don't have to get too close. Now, nothing like that. I know there's nothing under my bed, but still. We actually have a question.
oh, fabulous.
Monica from Michigan, she said hello to both of us. She said, I feel the change you are talking about. I've been discovering my own gifts lately and wonder if you have any advice for when I'm feeling overwhelmed by it all.
Absolutely fabulous question. And
Mm-hmm.
thank you so much for watching. And I think the first thing to do is you are right. We are receiving energy information in so many different ways and with a different intensity that it can become very overwhelming. The first thing we have to do is we have to begin to separate what is ours and what isn't ours.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That
Mm-hmm.
is a really key component because as your sensitivities are growing, you're becoming more attuned to everybody else that's around you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So this is a fabulous practice that I'm going to go ahead and share another practice because that's what we're doing today. We're
Good.
teaching them lots of good stuff, to go with. And so I want you to pay attention and to do this, Miss Monica. Okay, so there we go. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to bring you into your own energy field. Okay, and so what we're going to do is we're going to take 3 deep breaths. You're going to draw that breath in through the top of your head, and you're going to exhale out, and you're going to exhale out your heart. And you're going to blow out a beautiful bubble all around you. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
everybody, if you wouldn't mind just working with me on this, we're practicing. That's what we're doing. So close your eyes. Inhale, 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 and exhale. Blowing out your heart. You're blowing out that beautiful bubble all around you, all around you. Inhale, 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 and exhale. Blowing that bubble behind you, blowing that bubble above you, blowing that bubble below you. And inhale, inhale, inhale. Last time, big, 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 and exhale. Blowing that bubble out, blowing that bubble out, blowing it out, firming it, firming it, firming it all the way around you. Now, breathing normally. Now just stay in that beautiful bubble for just a moment. And without opening your eyes, I want you to feel, sense, or see what color your bubble is.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Monica, open your eyes. And what color was your bubble? Write it in the little thing.
I'm not sure we'll get it right away.
Oh, all right. Well, anyway, your bubble, and you can do one more breath if you want to with that
Mm-hmm.
specifically so that you can firm it up. And that quiets the situation because you're in your energy. The
Mm-hmm.
next part, though, is just as important because you need to balance what your energy is because you've been so influenced by everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
So then you go ahead and you do that Om sound 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
So one more practice. Just bear with me for another 30 seconds. Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Inhale, inhale, inhale. Oh. inhale. Oh. And last one, inhale. Oh. That sound and that harmonic frequency naturally aligns your energy field in your body.
Mm.
Those two practices bring you back into your energy, pushing out other people's energy, and it balances you in your energy. So that will immediately change the vibration of feeling overwhelmed because you have now hit like a reset button
Hmm.
on your computer, on the hard drive of you. So that is really a wonderful way to be able to fit back into that balance of you. And before you go into busy places,
Hmm.
grocery stores, job situations, do those couple of practices and it really brings you back into that space of self where you are.
Monica said her bubble was light blue.
Oh, fabulous.
Hmm.
And hopefully she felt better as well. So, it really does make a difference to go into that quiet space
Hmm.
and and that's the thing that's so important. We can't control everything in the world. The only thing
Yeah.
we really can control and manage and maintain is
Hmm.
ourselves.
Hmm.
So we have to really take the time, the care, and the attention of self-care
Hmm.
so that you're in that balanced space.
Right. And knowing that there's other people that feel this way too, hopefully that will help. This is a new time. And I believe that all of us here, especially everybody, of like mind, stood in line to get here at this time on this planet, that we wanted to be here, for this awakening, for this time of the, true evolution. So, okay, so we've got just a couple minutes. So if you could let people know where they can find out more about you.
Oh, sure. Come and visit me at judyweaver.com, and it's Judy with an I, so
Hmm.
judyweaver.com. And then I have a wonderful YouTube channel, Facebook, Instagram. And then I have a fabulous community that's called Heartbeat because I am doing a lot of traveling and I
Mm.
really want people to have the opportunity to connect with me. And I take people on fabulous trips around the
Hmm.
world too. Oh
Hmm.
my gosh, so many cool things coming up along the way. This
Speaking
summer.
of which, you
Oh,
will also
okay.
be at Spirit Fest Melbourne in a few weeks
I
too.
will. And then I'll be in Fort Myers, though. We're going
Yeah.
to Fort Myers. I'm
Yep.
excited. Our first time down there, too. So,
Yeah, both
yeah.
shows in May. So spiritfestusa.com, and then you can find out more information about where you can meet Judi. So do in the next segment, stick with us if you would like to ask a question. You can go to the Transformation Network, but you can also message on Facebook too. We'll get them there. You can also call in. What's the number? 800-930-2819, and you can actually speak with us. So it is time for a break, and we'll see everybody back in a few minutes. Join us for Spirit Fest Melbourne, May 16th and 17th at the Melbourne Auditorium. You'll find the best psychic readers, holistic practitioners, natural products, crystals, and so much more. Doors open at 10 a.m. each day with free parking and food available on site. There are speakers offering presentations on a wide variety of interesting topics all day, each day, included with your daily admission. Spirit Fest has been Melbourne's favorite metaphysical event for years. As always, you'll find your favorite vendors like fairy hair, foot reflexology, sound healings, and many new ones too. All details are on our website, spiritfestusa.com/Melbourne. There is also discounted admission available on our website. We look forward to seeing you at Spirit Fest Melbourne.
Hi, This is the Celtic seer, Barbara McGillicuddy, and you can find me at barbara.mcgillicuddy.com or on YouTube at Metaphysical Awakenings with Barbara and Eric. As a medium and animal communicator, it is my joy to speak with people on this side and people who have crossed over to bring forth beautiful messages of love.
Hi, I'm Susan from My Enchanted Path, where I create divinely guided candles, intention oils, soaps, and more that make spiritual practice simple, no complicated rituals. The names may be playful, but every product is serious about helping you shift your energy. All fragrances are clean and safe, free from major toxins no one wants in their home or on their skin. With a 5-star rating and over 100,000 customers, MyEnchantedPath.com is a trusted source for charming items for an enchanted life.
Florida has a great new option for healthy living. Our Natural Health Expos were a hit last year, so 2026 brings more events around Florida. This special event offers health and wellness opportunities for people and pets. High-quality experts in well-being, healing, anti-aging, and natural living. Plus, you'll find speakers, demonstrations, and much more. All details, lists of locations, and discounted admission can be found at naturalwellnessexpo.com. Welcome back, everyone, to the Sanctuary for Mind, Body, and Spirit. And we're here with Reverend Dr. Judi Weaver, one of our favorite people. She is a spiritual trance channel medium and doctor of metaphysics, also a shamanic practitioner. She knows how to get in there on every level, mind, body, and spirit. And she is such a great teacher, too. So we're really lucky to have her with us here. And feel free to send your question in. You can send it through the player on the Transformation Network or send us a message on Facebook. But if you'd like to call and say hello, 800-930-2819, you can ask a question or she might give you a message from Spirit. So we were talking about your travels, and you have had some really neat experiences going into these places. I just went to Sedona for the first time, so I cannot imagine what it's like going to, was it Greece that you went to? Did you go to
I,
Crete?
yep, I just went to Greece and Turkey. And we
Wow.
stopped at 5 different islands and then went to Ephesus. And then,
Mm,
it was so incredible to be on these old lands and
hmm
to feel into the timelines and to
hmm
really feel the energies of the ancient ones and the deja vus, right? People
hmm
talk about the deja vu, and it was like the other parts of you in other lifetimes that
hmm
had those connections and have those memories, and or you're elevated into an altered state of consciousness of self so that
hmm
you actually are receiving that feeding of information from
hmm
these other spaces of time,
hmm
which can feel a bit overwhelming as well.
Yes.
you know
Yes.
what is
Yes.
real? Where am I at? What is
Yes.
happening? How is this coming to be? But we have, and that's the thing that's so cool about when you go to these powerful sacred lands. And I've been leading people on trips probably for about 7 years now. And well, in the formal part, I was
hmm
doing the other travel before anyway. But it's like taking the group travel and going to Peru and really tapping into the lands there, being
hmm
able to have these profound experiences, visiting Brazil, getting the crystals inserted into me. When you go to the lands, physical things happen to your body
hmm
because it's that remembering. It's the
hmm
cells are alive, and
hmm
you are creating this beautiful relationship with the nature and the power of nature
hmm
as it's moving and integrating into you as
Right.
well.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have a question. We're going to circle back to
Yep.
your travels. Susan from Orlando asks, how do you develop the ability to divine what or who the being is that you're sensing? She said sometimes it's very clear that it's a male, maybe in his 40s. Other times I just feel a presence and no additional info, even like if it's a human angel or an ET. There's a vibe difference, but she can't tell the difference between them. What do you suggest?
And that's a great question. So the first thing that you do is you go into the feeling of the energy because you're sending that love energy out to them. And then you're asking, okay? Don't just expect them to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
You go ahead into that active role and say, okay, I'm sending this energy out. What is this? Who does it feel like? And you're right. You will very often get a male feel. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you get you may feel that resonance as something in your physical body, where
Mm-hmm.
then you might realize, oh, it's an older man and he's hunched over. Well, why am I
Mm-hmm.
hunched over? Okay, well, that's who I'm actually feeling in with.
Mm-hmm.
If it's an angelic resonance, you may feel a very light, high frequency vibrancy within
Mm-hmm.
it. So, what is the energy field feel like?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What are you receiving for images and information? And trust into that.
Mm-hmm.
Because then it's like, well, that doesn't make any sense. I don't believe it. I don't know what that is. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
no, take a moment, let go of your preconceived and just let yourself be in the space of, well, it could be. Okay, so if it
Mm-hmm.
is an ET, what kind of an ET might that be? And
Mm-hmm.
people get so caught up in their evil and they're, gonna destroy us. If they wanted to destroy us, they already would have done it a really long
Right.
time ago. I mean, let's be real. We've done enough of that on our own, all by ourselves.
That's right.
So your solar plexus is your an enemy. That's your big an enemy. So feel into it, but trust into it. And if
Mm-hmm.
you're feeling nervous by it, do call in your angels and your guides and masters and say, okay, Archangel Michael, come on in here. You want that sword of
Mm-hmm.
light to be there. You want that protector. Put
Mm-hmm.
me in that place of protection. Put me in that place of strength so that
Mm-hmm.
I can go out and be that seeker of information so that I have the experience. Because when you move into the place of experience, that's when you learn how to recognize what that means for you.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has their own unique language that they're learning and the impressions, and it doesn't stay the same. It continues to grow and evolve as we do as well.
Mm-hmm. I had an experience once, and I have heard of other people having similar things where the being that was the energy that we were sensing that's very close to us right then, it was not appropriate that we knew exactly who it was, that it was either uh, um say it was Jesus or something like that, something that would sort of blow your mind and take away from, because I believe that Jesus works with a lot of people.
Mhm.
But still, is some people that would be a lot, where all of a sudden Jesus shows up in your periphery. But also, it might be an angel ET guide, but that is so familiar that you may not be ready to meet face to face, but they're helping you and then kind of getting you ready to sense that energy too. That was just a thought.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
And they want you to get to grow the relationship yourself. I mean, you
Hmm.
go to people, and I'm not saying people come to me all the time. Well, what's the name of my guide? And sometimes they tell me, but a lot of times they won't.
Hmm.
I can get into information about your guide, but they might
Hmm.
not give me a name because they want you to build that relationship with them.
Hmm.
Because again, once you have the experience, you can't unknow it.
Right. Yep.
It's real.
Yeah.
It's
Well, or
tangible.
yeah, yeah. So there's just a lot to that. And I was going to ask you, how long have you really been practicing spirituality, metaphysics? How many?
Decades.
Yes.
Yeah, back it's funny because I was running all kinds of ladies retreats. I
Hmm.
did a lot of religious work is how I was doing this, and it was always that healing heart energy.
Hmm.
And way back in the day, when I was in my 20s, I was working at group homes with non verbal people.
Oh.
And I knew what they needed,
Mhm.
and I was an incredible medical intuitive, and I was in charge of the homes, and I knew exactly and would always tell the doctor what the problem was, what we needed to do. Still had no clue what I was doing.
Mhm. Mhm.
But because I was just telepathically communicating with them,
Mhm.
and that is something that's really cool. 100% of nonverbal people are telepathic.
That's the
100%.
telepathy tapes. That's what that's
Yeah.
about. That
Yeah.
they're learning to rely on different ways of communicating. And when I was at that conference in Sedona, I was just speaking about that. There was a man who was born blind, and she could hold up a sign. She had several signs that had words on them, and she would hold them up and he would tell her what the word was. But what was interesting was he was telling what he was seeing in his mind. So
Yep.
he'd see, I see a line that goes straight up and down. I see a circle next to it. Oh, nope, it's facing the other way. And then in one of them, he actually saw the symbol of what it was. And that's what we're coming to find out is how, highly evolved those skills are for them. And that all of us
Absolutely.
can do it. So they're leading the way for us, which is
Yeah.
which is
Which
also
is
really remarkable.
and they're exceptional in a
Hmm.
particular thing. You know, when you're
Hmm.
looking at autistic children, there's something that they hyper focus on that they are just so exceptional at. And
Hmm.
so what is it about that that is something that they have to bring in as part of the lesson for all of us to have access to? You
Hmm.
know?
Hmm.
Yeah.
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 So the reason that I asked about how long you've been practicing, because I've been in it a very long time also. I had a different perception when I was young, obviously, but um, there's been a lot of times, in it, there's always something imminently is going to happen. Something huge is going to happen, and that you're always on the precipice of something. And that, yeah, here we are, day after day after day after day. But this more so than ever. I really feel like because the earth is amping up, the Earth's vibration is so much higher, and so much more new information is making itself known to us too, like about our intuition and about how specific we can use it. And like we just spoke of with the telepathy tapes too, that I do think that we are really in our uncharted territory, which is really awesome.
It's not even just the tapes. So as I'm going to these different events and working with these incredible world leaders now, it's like I walk up to somebody. We don't say a word. We just walk up to people. And as our hearts open up, we do an immediate body scan. We're
Hmm.
staring into their souls and we know exactly where they're getting their information from.
Hmm. Hmm.
And it's not competition. It's just collaboration.
Hmm.
And the
Hmm.
part that's so wild for me is that, I've been working in the etheric world for decades, probably this whole lifetime, but I just had no clue. But I
Hmm.
remember working in the etheric field very cognitively for the last 20 years. And now I'm walking up to these people. It's like, oh my God, there you are in the physical. It's
Hmm.
like they are coming into my life now because
Hmm.
it's time for us to be able to connect on the physical rather than just working in the ethereal world. But
Right.
they recognize me, I recognize them, and it's like, oh my God, do you remember doing da da da? And they're like, yeah, and you were
Wow.
there, and we were, and that's a whole nother level of
Hmm.
conversation, of
Hmm.
information that we're just a part of. That
Right.
if we allow ourselves to take off the goggles, to just kind of expand them, it's not we're saying we're wacko, we're
Hmm.
saying we're more than we've ever given ourselves credit for. And
Yes.
let yourself expand into that and to
Yeah.
practice into that. It doesn't just
Yeah.
happen by itself. It Most everybody who goes through an awakening has that moment where they say, I surrender, I give up. What do you want me to do? We get to
Yes,
that
yes.
place where we let go.
I wanted to talk about the photo that you got from Mount Shasta because um, where I'm going with this is the new technologies and the new capabilities that we're finding out that we've got with our consciousness. And so I think this kind of became known more around the time of digital cameras. That people
Yes.
were starting to see orbs, and then they realized that there was information, or that you could actually see light beings in the orbs, which was super cool. But
Yes.
now, we're seeing more things too. And I really have come to learn that part of it is our consciousness. So sometimes we might get something in the photos and just we had no idea. We weren't hoping, we weren't thinking. We just look at the picture and went, wow, what was that? But then sometimes you go into a situation and it's a super high vibe thing and you're going to see some really neat things. So I want to pull up this picture here. Where'd it go? That somebody took while you were doing a drum circle
I
in
was
Mount
doing
Shasta.
ceremony in Mount Shasta. So this was
Yes.
taken last summer, and I
Yeah.
had led a group of people. And when we first took the picture, it was like, well, that's odd. It's all blurry. Why is it all blurry? But if you really look at the picture, you
Oh,
can very clearly
oh yeah.
see, trees. The trees are clear. The rock is clear. But then you actually look around and you can see where there's outlines of these different beings. It's just almost like a jelly is in the surface.
So
And now,
nobody touched or edited this
no,
photo because I
no,
saw
this
it
was
right
immediate.
after you came back. Yeah.
Yeah, it was immediate as soon as they took it. And the thing is, I have two different photos. One is from a different angle, and you can see it as well. So
Mm.
it was, and now mind you, I started working with the Lemurians, which that's a population that's in Mount Shasta back in 2017. And this was the first time that they had told me to go there and to bring my people and to hold ceremony. And so I knew it was going to be really important that we were there. But when we took this photo, it was very evident that you can see all of these different outlined beings.
Hmm.
Now, what was really interesting about this picture is I've been traveling for really the last month, and I went to Greece and Turkey, and then I flew out to California to do the New Living Expo, and met some really cool people, did some amazing work in different places. Well, I was sharing this photo with a couple of people when I got back, and lo and behold, the photograph has changed from what I've seen. Now, I have this particular photo on my computer as my screensaver, so I look at it all the time. I want to bring your attention down to the bottom left-hand corner under the lady in black, and you can see helmet heads, actually blue helmet heads with a very clear face inside. And these beings were not in this photo prior to me going on this trip. And it's like, how could that be? What happened? What happened was I was able to move through working with these other people through time and space, where then we actually are blending through the time shifts back into this time and space.
Hmm. Hmm.
And it was so amazing, and it was really cool because I had sent it to Anthony Kolosk, and he does the reptilian groups.
Hmm.
And this was the first time I did the channel panel with him, and I got a chance to channel with him and Zazar, several different people, really cool people. But it was funny because I sent it to him, and I'm like, well, who do you think they are?
Tell me again where to see this. I see the lady, I see her legs.
Now, right under her legs, right at the bottom of her legs, you can actually see like a blue and black outline.
Okay.
Those are not backpacks.
Oh,
Those are not backpacks. Those are heads. And you can
wow.
actually see the eyes in the head when you blow it up. You can see
Wow.
through the reflection of them. And it was just such a really cool experience. And
Uh-huh.
I knew that we were doing profound work. And that's the thing that's so important for everybody to know. When you go to the lands, they respond. They're excited that you're coming to celebrate with them. Very
Hmm.
specific. See, you can see that very clearly now.
Wow.
Yeah, it's faces.
Hmm.
And it wasn't there before.
Wow.
I know. And you can very clearly see the lady's hands, you can see the rocks,
Uh-huh.
but you can
Uh-huh.
also very clearly see the outlines of these other beings that are there.
Hmm. Oh
Um,
yeah. One, two, three,
oh, yeah,
at least four. Yeah.
yeah, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, they're all over. It's just again, and that's the part that's really cool about technology, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Because when the new cameras that are coming out, they're specifically going and taking pictures at such a different speed that's why, and the binoculars with the different lighting, that's why we can see all of the different spaceships. That's why we're able to capture so many other photographs of the different ships or beings or different energies that are taking place and that are around by us as well.
Hmm. 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 Yeah, and I think maybe we're learning some of this technology from them,
Absolutely.
reverse engineered from some of them, and that again, that's how they want us to start to get to know more about their technologies. And I've been saying, when our extraterrestrial brothers and sisters come, they're going to be telepathic. And we are going to need to learn very quickly how to monitor our thoughts because we think that we can, all of our thoughts just ramble around in our head and it's between, it's private and we can think anything we want. But I think to myself, imagine what that will be like. That certainly is a catalyst to really improve what what goes through your mind, at first glance or, when you're speaking to someone. And then you're going to have to learn to go with your heart.
Yeah.
Um,
And
at
to
the
be
shows.
honest with yourself, be
Oh,
honest
yeah.
with the person that you're there, but be honest with who you are.
Hmm.
Um, it, it's really scary to tell somebody that you were hurt by them.
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
really because then you might get more hurt, right?
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
and you don't want to tell them the different aspects that make you feel uncomfortable or angry, or else you're just plain in the anger because you
Hmm.
don't want to go to the hurt department. So you're just deflecting it right off the
Right.
bat. But again, people are going to be just moving into that scan space and you're just going to move right through and then you're just in each other's hearts and you're recognizing a familiarity of who and what you are is the same as what they are.
Hmm. Yes. Yes. I encounter, and you as well, a lot of strangers because when somebody comes into your, if you're at a show or wherever you are, you meet a lot of people for the first time when they come up to you. And that is a lot of what we're doing is just sensing where they're coming from. Instead of listening to the words, you really are trying to get a vibe, I guess,
Hmm.
at the same time. And I look forward to the day when we can actually just be able to just say things with our thoughts. Certainly will save a lot of time, but I don't know that that'll be when I'm still alive, but I do think that it's coming. That is one thing that I feel sure of. There's a lot of things that we say might happen, going to happen, or whatever, but I really, since I've been a young child, have really believed that disclosure is imminent.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, and as for the thought transference and the telepathy, it's already happening. It's
hmm.
just, oh, well, isn't that a coincidence that they called me right when I was thinking of them?
Hmm. Yes.
Oh, wow. Dot, dot,
Yeah.
dot, 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 so
And then
really,
our pets too.
oh, yes.
Yeah, they've been telepathically communicating with us for a long time.
Absolutely. Animals out in nature, the ones that, they can recognize, when it comes
Hmm.
up and it talks to you, or the bird comes over and calls at you, what is it doing? Or a deer might actually just stand by you. I had really cool experience recently when I was out in California. I went to this park and there was a whole herd of these deer and two young ones were right there and they just stood there with their fuzzy little horns, so they were just getting their little antlers
Aw.
and they just looked at me and they felt my heart and they're like, "Oh, she's good." And they just went back to eating. They didn't
Hmm.
worry about it. They were just
Hmm.
they knew the vibration of me. I also
Hmm.
then had a young eagle that got my attention up in the tree. And again, birds always talk to me. So I pay attention to the birds because
Hmm.
they give me messages that I need to pay attention to. And
Hmm.
so this eagle kept calling me and calling me. And so then I stopped the car and I went out and it did. It came by and it swirled me around a couple of times. And it was like, no, just get ready to soar. Just relax.
Wow.
We've got you. You don't have to
Uh-huh.
do everything. You can let the trade winds take you. You just
Hmm.
have to be present. That's all you have to really have to do.
That's beautiful. We're getting closer to our next break. We've got a few minutes though, but I was wondering, would you like to channel for us at the in the next segment?
I'd love to channel for you in the next segment.
And
Yeah.
then, so then
Yeah.
I was thinking maybe if we could maybe just get a message, what we're supposed to hear tonight. And then I've got a question about something that you just spoke of as well. But if people would like to ask a question to Judi while she's in channeling, send us a message either through Facebook or you can call 800-930-2819 and you'll speak to our producer and say hi to Jessica. But also, if you're on watching on the Transformation Network, right underneath the live player, there's an ask button that you can click to ask a question too. So, and then, the Spirit Fest, you're going to be at Spirit Fest Melbourne.
Yep.
Melbourne, Florida. I like to say every once in a while we get somebody who tries to apply for a show in Melbourne, Australia, which is funny. I'll tell them you're
Not
approved, but I
yet.
don't think that who we think we are.
Not yet. Not yet.
Yeah.
But don't limit yourself, Mary Ellen. Let's just don't limit yourself.
Somebody just asked me that today when I gave them the website, spiritfestusa.com. They said, well, what's going to happen when you're international? And I literally was without words. I said, well, you just put that out there. So who knows?
I was
Maybe
gonna say you started at Spirit Fest Florida, so
that's right.
you know,
That's
so
right.
you just keep changing the name. That's all. Just keep adding on to it along the way. Not a
When
big.
I was in Sedona, I met this really fantastic lady. She lives in California, but she's from Italy. In fact, her husband doesn't speak any English, but she used to do shows in Italy, and she was really trying to get us to go out there to do a show in Italy. And I just was like this, and she said, "What's the problem?" I said, "Well, first of all, I don't speak Italian." She goes, "So what? You'll learn." So I liked her. So who knows? You never know. But she does some really cool work. We're gonna have her on with color. She does some interesting things with color. So anyway, your website, judyweaver.com, Judy with an
Yep.
I.
Yep.
Um,
And then I've got trips coming up. So this summer is Glastonbury,
oh,
England, Ireland, and Scotland. So I'm so excited. I'm going to be doing the Portal to Ascension, Glastonbury, in the end of August. And then I'm taking my group and I'm working with Zoe Davenport, who lives in Glastonbury. And we're going to do 6 nights. 7 days across 3 countries. We're going to go to the Avery Stones. We're going to go to Stonehenge. We're going to go to Merlin's Cave and sleep in
wow.
these luxury teepees and walk the lands. Edinburgh, we're going to go to Dublin. I mean, it is just such a cool trip. And I have 3 slots left for that one.
Okay.
But I'm
That
only
sounds
taking six
fantastic.
people. I'm only
Yeah.
taking 6 people because I'm not dealing with a lot of people there.
Yeah. Yeah. Be nice in the summer. So, all
Yeah,
right. Well,
yeah.
it's just about time for another break. So stick with us. And if you've got any questions, shoot them over or call in, and we'll see everybody in a few minutes. Join us for Spirit Fest Melbourne, May 16th and 17th at the Melbourne Auditorium. You'll find the best psychic readers, holistic practitioners, natural products, crystals, and so much more. Doors open at 10 a.m. each day with free parking and food available on site. There are speakers offering presentations on a wide variety of interesting topics all day, each day, included with your daily admission. Spirit Fest has been Melbourne's favorite metaphysical event for years. As always, you'll find your favorite vendors like fairy hair, foot reflexology, sound healings, and many new ones too.
Good job.
All details are on our website, spiritfestusa.com/Melbourne. There is also discounted admission available on our website. We look forward to seeing you at Spirit Fest Melbourne.
Hi, this is the Celtic seer, Barbara McGillicuddy, and you can find me at barbaramcgillicuddy.com or on YouTube at Metaphysical Awakenings with Barbara and Eric. As a medium and animal communicator, it is my joy to speak with people on this side and people who have crossed over to bring forth beautiful messages of love.
Hi, I'm Susan from My Enchanted Path, where I create divinely guided candles, intention oils, soaps, and more that make spiritual practice simple, no complicated rituals. The names may be playful, but every product is serious about helping you shift your energy. All fragrances are clean and safe, free from major toxins no one wants in their home or on their skin. With a 5-star rating and over 100,000 customers, MyEnchantedPath.com is a trusted source for charming items for an enchanted life.
Florida has a great new option for healthy living. Our Natural Health Expos were a hit last year, so 2026 brings more events around Florida. This special event offers health and wellness opportunities for people and pets. High-quality experts in well-being, healing, anti-aging, and natural living. Plus, you'll find speakers, demonstrations, and much more. All details, list of locations, and discounted admission can be found at naturalwellnessexpo.com. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Sanctuary for Mind, Body, and Spirit. We have been having so much fun and covering so much really interesting conversations with Reverend Dr. Judi Weaver, trans-channel medium, and we are talking about spiritual practices and kind of these new times that we're in. But so basically just everything's new. We're intuitive now more than ever. We can manifest things now faster than ever, and really coming into realizing how powerful we really are, that we can do anything. Being able to work with our guides, getting confirmation from things. And if anybody has a question for Judi, she's going to channel in a minute. And then bring in, we'll see who comes in. But if you would like to call and ask a question of our producer, the number's 800-930-2819, or message us on Facebook or through the Transformation Network's player that we've got there. So, okay.
Okay, I'm going to drop right in. So here we
right.
go. And I will tell you that higher self is coming in. So this is
Okay.
an interesting, because we always hear about the higher self. So this is a little bit different than what I thought was going to happen. So here we go.
Okay.
Good day to all of you.
Good
I'm
day.
the representative of what you would call the higher self. That is right. Each of you have access to a resonance that is above you, that is an expansion of you, that is the exceptional of you, that is completely accessible to each of you as you choose and you desire to. Remember, it is like when those moments that you get those beautiful inspirational thoughts, the solutions of, you go to bed perhaps at night and you are in a quandary and a worry, and you wake up and you know exactly what to do and how to move forward with. This is you having access to a higher dimension of information. Not that you may recognize that is happening around you, but it is there for you. It is aspects of your life. It is additions to. It is being able to move into different timelines of your lives that are filled and overfilled with an exceptionality of information that you have garnered and gathered throughout all time and space, and brought together to have very specifically available for you and to you at this time and space. The
Mm-hmm.
key is that you have to move into different levels of quietness, of awareness, of recognition, and of access so that you can understand and interpret what those different messages are that are divinely gifted to you because it is all from and a part of you as well. It is important to take the time to go within and to find the quietness so that you can ask the questions, but more importantly, listen for the divine answers. Those answers come in many different formats. You may hear thoughts and you may have external auditory information, and or you may get images, you may have knowingness, you may have feeling, all of the different types of what you call your class senses. But it is not limited only to the class senses, because you will often move into dream times and you will
Mm-hmm.
astral travel and you will bring back solutions because you have those moments of clarity and decisiveness for you to understand what it is that is in your best interest.
Mm-hmm.
You can ask that resonance of the highness of self anything.
Mm-hmm.
And you can learn the answers as you choose and you desire to.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to come in very specifically to introduce myself so that each of you would recognize the aspect and the unlimited possibilities that you have within the potentiality of utilizing the highest self of each of you as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And it it is good to get the confirmation through you that we can do those things. So we have somebody who's watching right now that would like to ask Sherry Z from Sarasota. She said her awakening just recently started and she's trying to confirm if she's a light worker. What would you say?
That is a beautiful question. And generally speaking, and I'm going to say generally speaking, but I will say 100% of generally speaking, of the time when you ask the question, you already know the answer.
Mm-hmm.
Because even saying the term light worker creates a resonancy, it creates a vibration, it creates a frequency within you, and it creates that tingling sensation. There is that knowingness, and you have that feeling that is within you that is resonating at a higher frequency of availability. One of the things you might practice is putting your hands out in front of you and closing your eyes and opening the crown chakra of your head. When you allow that crown chakra to open and you are calling forth that beautiful healing energy, you are going to recognize a change in your body temperature, your physical
Mm-hmm.
body temperature. You will recognize a radiance and a pulsing of energy that begins to emit through the palms of your hands.
Mm-hmm.
You may get different impressions or information about other individuals that you should not have or have no reason to know about them. It's not that they are telling you, but you already know that they're having trouble sleeping at night, and or perhaps that they may be having a dis-ease, they may be having an imbalance, they could be have an illness very specifically, and you have an awareness and an understanding that they are having that experience. It comes in subtleties generally to begin with, but the thing that's most important for you to know and to recognize that as you begin to open that channel of energy that's coming into you, you are learning and understanding and interpreting what it means. That
Mm-hmm.
means that you go ahead and you work with other individuals who are versed within it to be able to help support you with that awakening process for a greater understanding of self. But more importantly, You learn to build your relationships with your spiritual team. Your
Hmm.
spiritual team will always be the greatest teachers you will ever have. That higher resonance of self, your angels, your gods, your guardians, the masters, all of these beings are there to support you to grow into that energy. So then you may take time practicing, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
You may begin to practice and you may trust. You can send that healing energy. You don't have to worry about hurting another person. When it's being done out of a space of love, it can only be done to the highest resonance of.
Hmm. Hmm.
You may choose to send that healing energy to the earth itself. You may choose to send that healing energy to a body of water.
Hmm.
You may choose to send that energy into the air for cleaning, and or you may choose to send that energy, that healing energy, to leaders that are around the world to help support them to make better decisions as they are responsible for more than self by holding those particular leadership roles.
Hmm.
So that is always a wonderful way for you to practice. You may practice on your animals. If you happen to
Hmm.
have a dog or a cat, they will always come running when you start bringing out the healing energy. Now, the
Hmm.
one before you, her dog left the room as soon as I came in because he no longer recognizes her. When she moves
Oh.
into trance, he moves out of the room because he doesn't know who is here and he's uncomfortable with
Hmm.
that. Once she comes back, he'll come back. But that's an awareness that is something that you too could recognize for yourself as those key aspects of the differences of the environment when you are practicing this resonance.
Hmm.
It is important to be mindful. Sometimes you may feel pressures of headaches, or you may sometimes belch as you are having that shift of energy that's happening in the physical body as well. Or you may find yourself highly parched. You may find yourself being in a different physical stiffness. It is about paying attention to and recognizing, but feeling into with a space of gratitude. The
Hmm.
more that you move into that hot space of gratitude, the more information you'll receive and the greater energy flow will open through you and be allowed to flow out into the world. Remember, when
Hmm.
you are working as a light worker and a healer, it is not energy from you.
Hmm.
You never ever should be tired because you are just allowing for that beautiful channel of energy to move through you and supporting the other person as well.
And
This,
and I would say anyone that is attracted to this show that resonates is a light worker. I just think that is how we connect. If you're gravitated towards that, then that means that you are for sure. So, and that was a beautiful answer, and thank you for so much depth with that. If I may ask a question, um, today has been kind of a weird day in terms of mechanical things not working right, energetic things, uh, phones, computers, things like that, which, as we know, in these times, that's not uncommon anymore for the stuff to not work right. But I had, so this is a two-part question. I help with the monarchs because they get eaten, the little eggs and the little baby caterpillars get eaten by bugs, wasps, and lizards and things. So I keep them in a cage and help, to procure them until they can fly away, till they become butterflies and fly away. And I was looking very carefully yesterday through the plants and I was cleaning the plants. And I only found some very itty bitty tiny caterpillars that were almost the width of about 3 human hairs. And I was really disappointed that it really appeared that most of them are just getting eaten, like I said, which is just, a hard part about life. I woke up this morning and I looked in the cage and there was 3 or 4 giant caterpillars in there. And you just think, you know, caterpillars don't burrow. Where did they come from? Where were they? I guess. And there could be a simply scientific explanation that they're just really good at hiding. But I had monarchs in my yard all day today, and it's not uncommon for me to see 1 or 2 a day. But I think almost every time I looked out, and I just wondered if there was more of a spiritual message to that. So that
There
to
is. There always is a very specific spiritual message. One of the keys for this evening is that you were even having the conversation in with the picture that was being shown of changing time and space.
mm-hmm.
You needed your own physical experience so that
Mm,
you then would be able to recognize it too. You looked through that particular cage yesterday with detailed vision. There
mm-hmm.
were no large caterpillars. And the other
Mm-hmm.
thing for your regular audience to know that it takes 12 days in order to be able to eat enough food to be able to grow to be large enough to create that cocooning. So it
Mm-hmm.
is not just a 5-minute process. It's not an overnight process.
Mm-hmm.
It is a many day process to go through that growing. And so that's one of the reasons specifically that had come into play. Now, your electronics, what is taking place is that right now you are receiving and you are in the midst of a great shift of energy that is coming into play. And we understand that this is being discussed on a regular basis, but that does not deter the truth of the situation. Remember, in order to be able to elevate the situation, you turn up the gas, 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 right?
Mm-hmm.
Because what happens is then the body adjusts, then it moves up to that higher resonance, then it moves up to the higher resonance. So you are continually being pressed and impressed upon to be able to move into the expansiveness that is essential and necessary for you as an individual, that you are then part of holding that energy that is supporting all of humanity.
Mm-hmm.
So that is part of the process. However, within those energetic frequencies and fields, the electronics do not have the same fluidity as
Mm-hmm.
what the human body does. The human body is a living organism. It may get pushed, it may get pulled, it may feel constricted, but it has also the opportunity to expand. That's why it is a living organism. There is not a solid surface. It has the capacity and the capability of permeation to be able to move through and to adjust as it is necessary. When you
Mm-hmm.
are working within the physical constraints of an object, it doesn't have that say it has a denser resonance, and it does not have that same flexibility and capability to alter and to change and to expand and shift with the energetic surgences that are coming into play. And
Mm-hmm.
so that is part of the problem as to, but I am also going to say that there are also very specific energetic activity that is taking place across your planet at this point in time. And yes, it is highly focused in the United States at this moment in time because of the actions and inactions of other things that have been unfolding. And that too is part of that resonance. When there is a larger surgency of monitoring that is taking place, it will create its own frequency vibration of interruption that is that you have become accustomed to within your electronic worlds. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if we want to go ahead and move into the personal resonance aspect of all of these beautiful butterflies that are part of your life and that are coming into your life, it is all about transformation. And you,
Mm-hmm.
dear one, is that not what you are and who you are? You are constantly providing that a place and a space for transformation for every single soul to have access to. You are creating many new avenues and ways of support, such as this particular talk show, doing your spirit festivals, doing your events, moving outside of the state of Florida, moving into whole different realms. You are now moving into printed material. There's a constant transition, transformation. The butterflies always keep you in that same resonance of the newness of life, the
Mm-hmm.
hope, the resonance, the joy, the peace, the grace, as well as the presence of all all of the beautiful spirits, because butterflies are so closely related to the spirit that exits the soul upon its completion of its human carnation,
Hmm.
and therefore it has the opportunity to float back in and to be able to move around. And sometimes you will see mass swarms of these beautiful butterflies that always show hope, do they not?
Yes. Yes.
And beauty,
Hmm.
correct.
Hmm. I feel blessed. And it is very rewarding and fulfilling to be able to help because they are endangered. So, um, I do
And
what I
part of
can.
that is because of all of the different pesticides that people have used, and that is impacting so much of the environment. It will impact your animals. Perhaps if you're taking them for a walk from time to time, they may get into different pesticides. It is
Mhm.
important to be mindful of what you are ingesting in your bodies as well. It is very, very important to be mindful of what you are ingesting within your body. Your body is that living organism, remember? And
Mhm.
therefore, it is highly sensitive to foreign substances that don't necessarily feed you. And therefore, you need to be very mindful of what and how your food is being created and
Mhm.
processed so that it is feeding the resonance of the cell essence that will support it within its highest essence rather than just clog and glog it down. You understand?
Right. Right. Um, I had once heard that it was helpful if we were to put a glass of water on our nightstand so that our guides could infuse it, excuse me, with things that we may need. Is that accurate or is there something new?
That is an accurate statement. It is a beautiful process. First of all, you go ahead and you uh, pour yourself your glass of water, and then you may even say a quick blessing upon it, correct? Because you're going to invite, and you are letting the molecules of the water know that they are going to be utilized as a healing tool. Correct?
Mm,
Because that's what
hmm.
you're doing.
Hmm.
You are activating the consciousness of the cells within the water to be of a higher resonance and essence for you. So the water itself is working within that crystalline resonance that is creating a greater healing essence, but then you are also inviting in all of the ethereal resonance, which is bringing in that higher essence of you and radiating it into the water. So then by the time the morning time comes, the first thing that you drink is this blessed water. It
Hmm.
is
Hmm.
just overflowing with all kinds of information and resonance and love and peace that is specifically for you because it was created for you.
Mm. Well, this has been very helpful. So thank you very much for the confirmation that we all can tap into our higher self, and get the wisdom and the confirmation that we need. So thank you very much.
You're welcome and many blessings to all of you.
Thank you.
Okay. Oh, that was nice. That was a nice visit.
Yes. Yeah, we really appreciate the people that have asked questions today and are
Great
benefiting
questions.
from our conversation. These really are new times that we're in, and I think one of the things that has kind of come out of what's seems to be based in the United States, and I'll just say like with Epstein, and um, there's a thing on Netflix about some of the more offshoots of the Mormon religion that are same thing. They're giving away their power. And the reasons are different, the ways that it's done are different, but we all have that autonomy and we all have the ability. But just knowing the depths of how, you know, these things go, it needed to come up, it needed to come out. And once it does, and it's still doesn't feel very comfortable, but it's going to lead us really to a new paradigm all the way around. And not just with that, but with how divided we all seem to be right now. It's really not what it appears to be. I think that we're just energetically that we're all just kind of going off into our own dimensions. It doesn't mean anybody's right or wrong or good or bad.
It's so that everybody becomes more attuned.
Hmm.
That's the key. You
Hmm.
have to learn to trust yourself. You have to feel in it. You have to seek the truth so that you will know the truth for yourself.
Yes. Yeah. That's the name of the game right
Yeah.
now. And I think that that's now more so than ever. So that would be our advice for spiritual practice. And so people can always contact you through your website, judyweaver.com. But for those of you in Florida, or if you live up north and you would like to come visit Florida, we have a show May 16th weekend in Melbourne, on the east coast of Florida, only an hour or so from Orlando, and then on the west coast in Fort Myers, the 30th and 31st of May. And Judi is going to be at both of those. She'll do a special presentation at each show. Usually it's Saturday morning. All of the information for that is on our website, spiritfestusa.com, and you can just look for the show information at the top. And
I
but
will be in California though this next weekend. So
oh,
I'll be out at the channel panel in San Diego
oh,
on the Mother's Day weekend. So
okay.
yeah, so I'll be going to the other West Coast.
Right, the literal West Coast. Okay. Um, but you do readings, healings, people can see you for different things, and it's going to be a little bit shorter, a little bit less of a price than you would normally charge for the full sessions, but people get to meet you in person. So that's a great
Yeah,
opportunity.
yeah.
So but anyway, we really appreciate you being here. So I look forward to when we can do this again.
Oh, me too. And again, I've got wonderful trips coming up. So this year I've got the summer trip, which is going to be to Glastonbury, England. And then I've got Peru in October, and January 27 is going to be Sedona. I'd love to have y'all come and join me and learn to really tap into the whole soul of you. So
And
really
that's
fun trip.
January, you said?
Yeah,
January?
January
Okay.
27 will be
Okay.
Sedona. Yeah.
All right, very
Yeah.
good. And all the information is on your website. So thank you everybody for tuning in, for staying with us. We appreciate you here at the Sanctuary, and we look forward to seeing you next week.
Thank
Thank you for spending this time with me here on the Sanctuary Network. Tune in every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern on the Transformation Network as we gather to share stories, wisdom, and practices that remind us of something essential. Sanctuary isn't just a place you go, it's a space you create in your heart, your home, and your daily life. I hope today's conversation sparked something in you, a sense of belonging, a new idea, or simply a reminder that you are not alone on this journey. If this touched you, please share it with someone who could use a little light. Together we can grow this circle of sanctuary and inspire a ripple of healing around the world. And don't forget, the journey continues at spiritfestusa.com, thesanctuarynetwork.com, and naturalwellnessexpo.com. And of course, every week right here on Transformation Network. Until next time, may you be well, may you be inspired, and may you live fully in sanctuary.